Hey guys, Adrienne here and Optimized Joy. So, one of the things that happens to me is during the full moon time, right? We all know that the moon can affect the tides and the energies, and if you've ever hung around kids, you know that full moons really affect kids. And they affect us too. And one of the things that happens to me during full moons is emotions. Sorry, got a phone call. Emotions come up. They come up big, they come up strong. And so what happens with me, or what I choose to do with it, is go internal. I kind of isolate myself for a little bit. I get very quiet and I pull my energy in. Because if I actually interact with the outside energy, I might actually go crazy. So it's one of those things where I kind of, spend a moment seeing how those energies pinball inside of me, and take them in a little bit more and give myself some peace and some space and try not to actually take on all of the different energies I'm feeling. Instead, I try to just let them sit and move, filter, and process. So I'm not really sure. I'm interested in how you guys actually handle some of the energies you encounter during the days, especially during full moon times, because it seems like a lot of people go crazy. I lost you. Okay, sorry, I got a text message, had to make it disappear, and it took a second. So, anyway, in regard to that, right, like going internal and feeling some of the things from like the past or the future or the other occurrences and circumstances that are happening, that's just one of the ways that I tend to handle it. And I don't know how you guys do, but that's how I do. So I wanted to apologize because I know for the weekend I actually planned on visiting and I didn't. So I'm visiting today. And in that, right, when I was going through all of that stuff, one of the things that was coming up, and I'm pretty good about being really in tune with me, but a lot of times I kind of tune into others also. And one of the things that was coming up that hasn't come up with me in a while was really not wanting to again. Like I haven't hit a not want to in a while now. But it kind of came on strong, and it was kind of like, all right, I wonder who's kind of going through this right now, I wonder who else might be encountering this. I don't want to. And I couldn't even tell you what it was that I didn't want to do. I just was feeling this thing of, I don't want to. And, and then I kind of was like, well, maybe it's I don't want to do lives, but I do. So that's kind of the stuff that we hit. And the question isn't really, are you not wanting to? I mean, I believe that there are times that you're hitting that you are a human. So that's just one of the things we tend to hit. But it's a matter really of, are you letting your not wanting to stop you from actually accomplishing what you truly desire? Are you letting that circumstance or that moment or that present period of time stop you from actually doing, acting, planning, putting it into process? Is that getting in your way? Right? Is that keeping you from your integrity? And I've talked about integrity before, but just to re-emphasize it, it's doing what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it, and correcting and admitting and being accountable for when you didn't do it, and then rescheduling a time to do it, right? That's basically integrity, or at least how it works within humans. So that was the thing, is I, kind of hit that not wanting to. And whenever I hit that not wanting to, I know I'm out of integrity somewhere. I know I'm not aligned quite right. I know I maybe decided to give up, even for a moment, on a purpose or an intention that I had set for myself, a goal, if you would. And so, then it's like that thing about really realigning with that and saying, okay, wait a minute. So somewhere I went off, and now I have to actually get present to, do I want to or not? And then, of course I want to, like, this is stuff that has driven me my whole life. It's not going to go away. It might stop for a moment or feel doubtful or insecure for a moment, but it doesn't actually go away. It always comes back and it always resurfaces. And then it's kind of like, okay, and how well did I actually keep in line with that integrity? How well did I actually make sure I lined back up? And so that's the thing, is a lot of times when I go internal, it's just to actually make sure that things line back up, right? That I kind of just let the feeling move so I can realign. And this takes accountability. And, one of the things that, as I was running my dance studio, was I've never been very good about having a boss. However, when you're doing something like running your own business or entrepreneurship, or even if you do have a boss, right? Like, you need people to kind of hold you accountable. And there were days, man, when I did not want to go teach dance. I'm going to say that right now. There were days when I was watching a show or I was with my kids or something was going on. I was like, I don't want to teach dance today, right? And I don't know if you guys have had that, but, are there those days sometimes when you don't want to do something, like you don't want to go out with your friends, and then you end up going out with your friends, and then you're so glad you went out with your friends? Sometimes that was how teaching dance was for me. Sometimes that's how lives have been for me in the past. They're not currently that way, but that's sometimes how they were. And the thing about that is, who's holding you accountable? Because this is where things, like as we go through growth within ourselves, I will say that if we were the only human on the earth, then growth would still happen. You can do it alone. You can. And the fact that we're not the only human on the earth, there's actually reason and purpose to that. It's because we excel with each other. All right? We excel because there's others there to hold us accountable. And when that accountability is put into place, then man, do we start surpassing things that we didn't expect that we could. And so, that was the thing, is that with me and that dance studio, I did not have a boss that said, you're not at work and you need to show up. Right? Or at least not someone who I could say was a boss, but I did have a ton of bosses. They were a whole bunch of little kids, and they would come in and they would come to take dance. And when they came in to take dance, they were the ones holding me accountable. They were the boss for me, right? They were paying me to teach them something, and I had to come in and show up and actually teach it. But I didn't have a boss necessarily breathing down my neck. I just had people who showed up, right? And that's, the same way with this. Like, you guys are here. I have people to show up for. I am being held accountable by the fact that you even exist in this group, or that you maybe even liked my page, or that you know me on a personal level, or just the fact that we're in touch. There's an accountability there, human to human. And my question is, who's holding you accountable? And not only that, but are you appreciative of it? Or is it something you're resisting? Is it something you're resenting even, right? Because that's how we grow. We grow with accountability. And sometimes we don't even like the ones holding us accountable. Most of the time, I don't. Like, there's times, when I've worked with my coaches in the past and things like that, then I don't actually like it when they hold me accountable. And at the same time, I love it because I know there's going to be massive growth on the other end of it. And when you have that type of practice, right, of hitting that wall that you don't really feel like busting through, and then you bust through it, and then you feel and see and can resonate and almost like, I don't know if you guys have ever experienced like the feeling of, you know, like in certain, like the Matrix, for example, when they do that effect where it looks like the air shifts or bubbles out, I can feel that. Can you guys feel that? Like there's a lot of times where you get goosebumps or whatever, but then all of a sudden there's this big boom, right? And you can feel it ripple away from you. So that was a weird tangent for a minute, but I just wanted to say, like, that's what accountability does. So be thankful for the ones holding you accountable. Be thankful for the ones who are kind of sticking you on your shit. And at the same time, if you know, sometimes we resist it because the accountability isn't always delivered in a way that motivates us or that inspires us for something more or new. Sometimes the accountability is really just telling us what's wrong. And, you know, if that's what you're going through, it's time to find a different person to hold you accountable. It's time to actually partner up and look for those people that are going to hold the accountability, hold the space for you to actually accomplish the things that you want, that you desire, and that you want to create for your world. And then be thankful and gracious and be appreciative of the fact that they can deliver it in a way that actually motivates inspiration, motivates creativity for you, right? And there's so many of them out there. So try to surround yourself and find yourself with those types of people. If you are struggling with this, or if you are ready to shift this on a bigger level, feel free to reach out to me. And if not, then make sure that you're looking out for those people, because they're out there and they exist. And at the same time, do your best to be one for someone else. Be someone who can hold accountability for another, but can hold it in a way that is gracious, understanding, not judgmental, and can hold that space of, this is what you actually want. I'm holding space for what you want, not for what you're resisting. You know, try to hold that for another, because that's the kind of stuff that gets mirrored back to you. So I just wanted to talk about that today, because, you know, that's when I set up, I've been an entrepreneur my whole life. And when I set that stuff up, I set up the accountability measures in there for myself by actually creating a community that I know I want, need to show up for, and they will hold me accountable back. And if I show up gracefully, they will show up gracefully back. So, you know, consider this when you are readjusting and shifting through a lot of the interpersonal things that you're going through. So, all right, I just wanted to throw that out there. I will see you guys. I'm going to try to jump on here tomorrow. Wednesdays are always my busiest day, but I like to get on Wednesday nights. But I will see you either tomorrow or within the next 2 days. I hope you guys have a really great night and a really great day and evening, and whatever time zone you're in. Just know that you're a rock star, and set it up even further for you to really reach out more than you ever have, because there's always growth on the other end of it. All right? Right when you think you're hitting, you fly right through it. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.